Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how you guys can predict data using the decision tree classifier. Let's get started. So first thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import our modules. I'm going to import them and I'll explain what they do after I import them. Okay, so I ran this to basically make sure that there's no errors. And basically what pandas does is it allows us to read the data. And sklearn, this basically is our algorithm we're going to be using for our machine learning model. Okay, now moving on, we're now going to read and pre-process our data. Now, I'm assuming that you know what pre-processing data is, so I'm not going to get into pre-processing data. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to create a new variable and we want to read our data. So that's with read.csv. Sorry, we have to put a pd first and then read underscore csv. Okay, and then we're going to put genre.csv. Okay, now we're going to make sure this is basically just reading the this file. Okay, and if we run this, you can see that we get a nice data visualization. If you don't have Jupyter, I think it works with like another like Google Drive thing, but if you don't have a Jupyter, or like if you don't have Jupyter, you can't see this. You won't be able to see like these nice neat lines. You'll see something else. You see probably like text based, which is really not nice. So I recommend you download Jupyter. I'll put a link in the description below telling you how you can download it. Okay? So now we're gonna move on to creating and training our data. I like to keep this just in case if I want to see something. Okay? But anyways, df has been like assigned. Like df is now assigned and we can use it in any other more cells. Okay, so what we want to do is now traditionally we need an x and y value to predict and like to train, right? So let's do that. Let's make our x and y value. So for our x value we need to drop our target value, which is going to be genre, because that's what we want to predict. Our target value is what we want to predict. So genre, don't get it confused with genre.csv. That's the CSV file. Genre is the column name. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to define the axis, which is going to be um columns, right? If you don't, like, let's say if I do not define this, let me put it on a thing. Yeah, let's say if I do not define this, right? Yeah, let's say if we do not define this at all. Okay, this is the error you're going to get. You're gonna get an error because it says not found in axis, right? So if we just put that back, if we just put what we had back, now if we run it, as you can see, we get no problems, which is exactly what we want. Okay, now if I see what's going on in x, you can see that only has h because it dropped genre. Now with y, we're gonna only have our target variable, which is going to be genre. So we just do df.genre. And now if I run y, you can see I only have the genres. Okay? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna call on the model. So we're gonna assign a variable. I'm gonna call it model, which equals to decision tree classifier. So decision tree classifier. Okay? And make it like kind of like in a model, like kind of like a function. And model.fit. So this is model.fit. Fit is there to like train the model. So we train it, and then when we train it, right, it's all set. So we're gonna get our x and y. Now, if we run this, you can see that it gives us decision tree classifier, which is exactly what we want. So it means that our data has been now trained. So now let's predict our data. So we're going to use a model. We're going to call on model this, and we are going to predict. So how we predict is we just do dot predict, and we need to make sure it's a 2D thing. So just add two arrays, okay? Because it only works with 2D arrays. And now we just need to put in an age. So I'm gonna use a random number generator for that. So I'm showing you guys that I'm not lying. So random number generator from what was our first value? From 20 to 50. To 50. 47. If we copy that and paste that and we run it, you can see that we get comedy, which is exactly correct because if you were 47, you obviously like comedy, according to this data set. So you can see that we officially just predicted data, right? Now another thing you can do is to get this array and d type object stuff away. You can just put in a prediction. You can put it into a variable called prediction and print it. You see now if I run it, you can see that it only has the two brackets, which you can probably get rid of with like some sort of command, but I'm not gonna bother to. So that's it. It's as easy as that. You just have to drop it, call on the model, control Z, call on the model, train it, then predict it. Um, to further prove that I'm not lying to you and this is correct, I'm gonna do another one. 24. I think we have done our example data. We don't. That's perfect. So 24. Run that. We get action. So over here, you can see that 24. So in the 20 ranges, people like actions. Then in 30, you like sad. And then after that, 37, you like action. So I'll show you what happens with this. Okay? So if we put 38 here, 38, and run it, it gives us action. Why? Because 37 is closer than 38. And it's backed up. It's not backed up at all, right? But still, 37 is closer, right? It's closer to 38. I know it's a little confusing, but like, because this is like in a weird place, it's just gonna say action. And that's what I predicted, right? So that's basically it. So we imported our modules, then we read it and pre-processed our data, but we didn't have to pre-process anything because there's no missing values, no nothing like that. Then we just create our and train our data. And then after that, we predict it, right? So that is really neat. And so yeah. One other thing you can do is you can make an input. I haven't tried this before, but let's do it. So maybe put like assign a variable age, put input. What is your age? Right? Then over here, instead of 38, put age, right? Now let's run this. So it's asking for what is our age. I'm going to say 12. You can see that you get action. Let's run that again. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's run that again. Let's do 59. You get comedy. So you can see that it's a pretty cool little thing that you could do, and it gives you the basic it helps you understand the basic concept of machine learning. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and please consider subscribing. Bye.